Today on St. Nerds, it's Pimp My Ride. So today we got our package from NOVRITSCH. You can always tell when the fun packages come in because he has his own tape on there. So let's open this up and see what's inside. Alright, here we go. Little cutty there. Cutty there. Bam! Alright. Bubble pack. That's what I always wanted. Alright. We got a magazine for our SSG96. 2 of them. I'll explain in a moment. Oh, wait. 3 of them. Aren't I special? Then we got our super duper NOVRITSCH envelope. This is the fun part. Got a NOVRITSCH armband. I made my own right there. But it's a nice stress patch. And we got a little gun patch. Alright, but that's not what we got here. What we got here are little boxes. Let me show you what's in the little box. So I had to get a new magazine for my rifle because, well, to be honest, I broke the last one. Now in the SSG96 video, the review, you saw I had 2 rifles. The reason why I had 2 rifles is because, one, I had to let my friend, Red Hot Chili Peppers, use my rifle because he didn't have one, so I was using the TAC 338. Bought the TAC 338 for setting up on a shelf, not really using it, but I used it. So a good deal came along to where I could get another one. Also, I could get this fancy smancy stuff. It's made from the rainforests of New Guinea. It's actually harvested, carved, everything right there on the edge of a rainforest in New Guinea, which is right above Australia. Now the reason why I need another magazine, there's a magazine hole here. Your rifle slides into here. This is handcrafted. Got 2 problems with it though, but it does say in the site that you're going to have to maybe modify it a little bit. When I put the rifle together and slid it in there, the magazine catches just a little bit over here, so I'm going to have to sand this down. And I want to get wood files to do that. But I have a piece of the rainforest. Now, this little box, what's in the box?
What's in the box?
Is a leaf. Well, why did he buy leaves? Let me show you. Because of this little thing here. And you're going, what is that? No, it's not a stocking. It's actually a gun cover, so you can make your rifle look like a bush. So, we're going to need to get the 96. Now, normally it comes with Normally it comes with a string that goes along the bottom. But a lot of guys just rip that string off because it's more of a pain in the butt than anything. And normally once you put that on your rifle, you're going to leave it on your rifle. So I'll demonstrate on how it slides onto the rifle and then show you what the leaves are for. Give me 1 second. So how this sucker slides on there is you take this part here, this is your front part, and you got this little scopey thing here. Your scope slides right into its little sleeve, like so. Pull it up here, cover all this up. Now you can take it back as far as you want, but that seems to be where it wants to go. And then you take this part and you slide it on the front here like so. We're gonna have to figure out how to work that, aren't we? All right. Oh, that would work. Yeah, that would work. Yep, we got part stuck to it. So we're gonna have to probably take this off. So give me 1 minute. Okay, now that we got that off, how this works is this slides on here, goes on here like this. Okay, now this is where your zip ties come in. Now you're wondering, well, what about the back of the rifle there? Well, we got this thing here, which covers the back, and then we have this thing here, covers right here. So yes, you have this part exposed, but we'll address that in issue. Yes, it's back the whole way. Okay, so now what you do is you get yourself some zip ties. And then you take the zip tie, you wrap it around here, find a spot, get the other spot here, bring it around here, stick it through. Now this cover has mesh all throughout it. Now you take your zip tie, make sure you're lined up, pull it tight, and there you go. You see, now your rifle is starting to become hidden from others. So there we go. I'll have to take that bipod off so that way I can get it. So what I'm going to do, and then they have like right here, your scope isn't quite there. So you pull on this, close it, pull on this, zip it, and then your front of your scope isn't hanging over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to secure this to the rifle, and then I'll be right back. Okay, now that all the zip ties are on there, take our little clippy and cut off all these things. I mean, it's up to you whether you want to cut them off or not. I mean, technically you could probably leave them there and they'd look like little branches or something. But we got stuff for that. So I'm just going to clip them all off. Now, now whenever you're putting this on, you can see I have one here, one here, one here, one here, one there, and one on the silencer. And then I took this part and wrapped it around the back, so that way it doesn't slide forward while you're using it. 1, 2, 3. Now, since we're dealing with camouflage, let me educate you a little bit. Now you noticed on the scope how it's a little bit longer than the normal scope. Well, the reason for that is it's got a thing called a kill flasher. Let me grab the other rifle and I'll show you. And it does exactly what it's meant. It says it's a kill flash. See, now you got this part. Right there. That's what the scope normally looks like. Okay? It's just right there. We got this part here. Now what this does is, as you can see, it's got a honeycomb on it. And what this does is when you're looking through your scope, if somebody's over here and the sun's over here, it'll come through, it'll hit that glass part of the front and it'll reflect the light and you'll be able to see the light. I mean, anybody that's watched movies about snipers, you know, they'll see the little flash and they'll shoot the other guy in the eye. This stops it. The mesh doesn't let you see the lens from the front, and the tube doesn't let you see it from the side. That's part of camouflage. That's what this part's for. So now that we have that on, you just take this. It's got some Velcro. You put this part through here, and you put that on there. So there we go. Now, as you saw, it has this wire mesh thing. So what you do is you take these little pins here, you find a spot that you want to put a leaf, okay, and then we'll just rip this part off here so that way I can show you. It's got a mesh. You take the pin, you slide it in one of the holes of the mesh, and then there's a hole in the bottom of the leaf. You slide it in. So that's the first step. You know, that's how you get your leaves on. But the first step, whenever you're ghillying your gun, aka making it look like a bush, you need different materials, which I have pre-ordered. I've already done this to a rifle before. So, and it works really good. So you need some raffia, which is basically like a artificial grass, okay? And then you need this cloth. So I'm going to get everything set up, and I'll come back and I'll show you how to use all these things to start making your rifle look like a bush. Now we're back. I got the scope cam mounted back on, and I had my helper. Now what you do is you cut these into 1-inch strips. Well, 2-inch. It's a little thin, but it'll work. So what you do is you take these, this is the mesh material. You take it, cut it about that long, okay? Then you take this. Now what you're going to do is get the messy stuff. Now whenever you're doing this, there's two ways of doing this. You can either sit there and go by the seat of your pants. See, this stuff is just, it's gnarly. It loves to make a mess. But anyways, whenever you're starting to do your ghillie, first thing you want to do is you want to go into the field that you're going to be setting it up for. I'll tell you right now, if you want to be truly 100% effective, you're going to need a couple of these. But if you have a field that you go to regular, which I'm lucky, I have one in my backyard, you can go back there, take a picture, and then see what colors that you have you're dealing with, okay? In the fall, you're going to want to go with your autumn colors. In the spring, you're going to want to go with more brown colors with slight accents of green. And in the summer, you just want all green if you're got a green woods like I do. So now what you do is you take this, fold it in half, excuse me, okay, and then fold it in half again, cut it. You can already see it starting to string up into both holes, cut it. Now what you do is you take this is the first step. You want to take this, I usually take 2 of them, I shove them together and crunch them, okay? Now all these items can be bought at Norwrich. I'll leave a link, it's where I bought it, and he gives you 3 bags of zip ties. There's a crap load of zip ties in here. Now you take your zip tie and you find out where you want it. Leave it through the little holes. I'm doing a spot where you can see. Leave it through the little holes. Okay, like that. Then you take, here, let's integrate this string somewhere else. Okay. Then you take your wad. You grab it, you pinch it together, and then you set your piece of raffia in there, or however the hell it said. Then you come in, you set it down, try not to let it run off, put your zip tie in there, zip it tight, take a pair of clippers, clip it. Then you take the 2 strands here and you separate them, sort of pull them apart, make a little flowery type thing. Then you take your raffia, and then you can shred it. Now these have these little leaves on here. Don't be afraid to cut them off. If they're in the way, cut them off. Trust me. The stuff you're adding to it will help. Now if you don't want to go through all this, just buy the cover. Just buy the cover, that'll be enough. It's not going to be like you're invisible, but see, now you got this little thing here. Looks funny. Okay, and then this is your first step. You want to do this to the whole gun first. Add these on, and then we'll get to the leaves. So I'm going to work on this for a little bit, and when I get this section here done, we'll pop some leaves on there and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, now that we got that section done, we're going to take one of these pins and we're going to slide it in here. Now you can do this one of 2 ways. If it's hard to reach in there, you can use a zip tie. If not, he sells these little pins that, or the pins come with it to let you poke right through the mesh. Be careful. You don't want to poke your finger. I've done that before. And you just get it into the hole, push it, and bam. Look at that. See? Makes it look all leafy. You have become the bush. So, that gives you an idea how you do it. I'm going to do more and we'll come back to it. Alrighty. Well, as you can see, I have a bush in front of me now. Now this part here I didn't do, so, because that's where my face is going to be and you want to be able to see. So, this is what we had before. This is what it looked like, minus the leaves. And this is after. So, NOVRITSCH also sells a leaf suit, which is basically like a ghillie suit. But, as you can see, select this off since it's the easiest. This is a mesh. So it's right on there. See, it's got this rubber thing to keep it from sliding around on your rifle, and then these are little holes that you put the zip ties through and the leaf knobs through. And this actually, on the ghillie suit, you know, people think a ghillie suit's hot, but to be honest, that leaf suit isn't hot. I do have one. I have crafted it, and I will be showing you in a video when I review it. But for now, I started at 11:30 and it is now 1:05. So it took 11:30, 12:30, so about an hour and a half, 2 hours to do this one side. Now, I get to do this side. So, but you don't need to see that. Like I said, I'm going to do a review of the NOVRITSCH ghillie suit, or the leaf suit, and we'll post a video on that, and you'll see the rifle when it's totally finished in that video. Because we'll do some hide and seek where I'll go hide in the woods and you try to seek me. I guess I got some more crafting to do. Check you later.